I was thinking that we could talk about a little bit of like living lights on. As Christians, how should we approach certain situations? How can we live as Christians in different things? And one of the things I was wondering is how can we live as Christians, live our faith out in times of conflict? Because we all have conflict, whether we
Right.
want to or not.
Right.
Whether it's a big conflict or a little conflict, we all have that. So
Yeah.
how can we really live out our faith and live as Christians in a way that honors God in
Yeah.
conflict?
Yeah, I think lights on, windows open, that transparent part of that, say what needs to be said. Now, that doesn't mean like yell at a person when you're frustrated with them, but also
Pastor Chris said.
let's just acknowledge that sometimes relationships can get tense between one another, and we need to have a sit down, come to Jesus moment and address it. And I think as long as you're coming in open with wanting Jesus to be the spiritual glue between the relationship, I think you'll be okay. The hard part is when we go to reconcile a relationship and we're actually not trying to reconcile. We're just trying to get you to realize I'm right and you're wrong. And anytime we come into a disagreement where it's going to be I'm right, you're wrong, you're going to have a hard time fixing that relationship. And the best is going to be like, okay, we're going to agree to disagree. And sometimes that's a situation, to agree to disagree because we're not ready to reconcile yet. But when you're really trying to reconcile, it's different. I'll say it this way. Some of the best marriage advice I got from counseling was this idea that I need to care about what my wife is feeling, not if I am correct in why she shouldn't be upset. You see, I was going to a counselor and I was telling the counselor, she doesn't understand. I have good intentions. She doesn't get what my good intentions are. And so she gets upset. And then that gets me upset because I'm telling her I had good intentions and you shouldn't be upset because I did something good, not bad. You're taking it wrong. And then that just creates a bigger fight. And you say, Chris, the problem is you don't care how she feels. And regardless if you're right or wrong in that conversation, it really doesn't matter. What matters most is how she feels about that situation. In other words, the person that you love is hurt. And if you can acknowledge for a moment a person that you love and you care about is hurting, it really doesn't matter who's right or wrong. So instead of saying, hey, you need to get with the program, stop being a big old wimp, I was right, you're in the wrong. Instead, you walk over and you hold their hand as if it's your spouse. Honey, darling, I am so sorry that what I did caused you to feel this way. Can you explain to me how this made you feel this way so I can try to the best of my ability avoid doing this again in the future and causing you to feel this way? What did you do there? You just disarmed Satan from continuing to put division in that relationship, and you acknowledged it really doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. What matters to me is how you emotionally feel about this situation. And if you approach a situation with that kind of care and tenderness, almost always you'll have some kind of reconciling behavior, at least as an outcome from that. And also, if you can realize the other person's emotions matter to you, it causes you not to back at them, be like, oh man, I really hurt their feelings. And you feel bad and you want to heal that relationship.
Mm-hmm. I think often conflict is blown out of proportion between people because we forget we're on the same side. Like in a marriage, the two of you are both fighting to be married. You're fighting together, hopefully, to run together in your marriage, to run forward together, move things forward. So when conflict arises, it causes division. We allow Satan to get a foothold and to cause separation when that's not what neither person wants, really.